I had already recorded this once before, and the entirety of Gen 3, but guess what? Some idiot forgot to turn his microphone on. It's actually a bit more nuanced than that. I record on OBS, obviously, as you might be able to tell, but I was recording, I finished it, I went back, I listened to the video, and I realised I can't hear a goddamn thing. It turns out that it had decided that my microphone was not good enough and that it would not record anything. So OBS can go fuck itself. But here we are. We are at Gen 2, also known as Pink Shiny Heaven, because they're fucking everywhere. Literally look at this. There are so many pink shinies, you would not believe it. In fact, there's one per line. So, at least, minimum. But yeah, this is going to be a bit of a tough one, honestly. I know I've already ranked these all before, so I know where they're all going, but I'll still explain myself. But I might have changed opinions from last time, honestly. But Gen 2, luckily, is quite small. So this could be a one-parter, it could be a two-parter. Last time it was a two-parter, but we'll see, depending on how quick I go. But I want to explain myself thoroughly enough for you to enjoy it. So, without further ado, let's get started. And I'm just going to really quickly, audio input capture, very cool. Okay, here we go. Chikorita, solid. I think the choice to make the leaf and the little necklace here brown, that's an A tier decision, but the skin turning this paler green yellow instead of the regular green it is a C tier decision, so to balance it out, it gets to go in B tier. Bayleaf. There were no B tier decisions here. Bayleaf is good as hell. Not only is it a really good mill design for a grass starter, which is quite common before Gen 4, and then they fucked it all up, but Bayleaf, it just rocks. It rocks the brown, and it rocks the skin brown that they chose as well. It's just good stuff altogether. Big fan of this. Thank you, Bayleaf, for continuing to be very cool. Meganium. Meganium doesn't change as noticeably as its predecessors, unfortunately. The green skin here is a bit too similar to its regular green, and the orange instead of pink. It's a change, but I think they should have changed it to something more unique and unnatural. Because pink and orange, quite natural color flowers, but they should have changed it to something like, I don't know, blue or... Blue, I'm thinking blue mostly, but it would have been better if they had a different flower color, and if they changed the skin to just, Bayleaf's brown, that would have been cool. And it does separate itself from these two by not having any brown on it, so C tier, because it does change, but I think they could have done better things with this. Now, Cyndaquil. The brown coloring on it, as opposed to the blue, I think makes a world of difference. Not only does it make it more badger-like, which is good, because it looks like a badger anyway, so that's nice. But I think it just works really well. I think the blue is what makes it a Pokemon, but the brown is what makes it just a cute animal. And I like that. And it's a cool shiny anyway. I'm not normally a big fan of brown shinies, but this one works very, very well. And Quilava's the same reasoning. I don't have to explain myself. But I also, here's the thing, Typhlosion is unfortunately C tier, because I know what you're thinking. How can he be C tier? His shiny is literally the exact same. But the problem is, Quilava and Cyndaquil have a bit of brown that goes over their face, so you can see it from the front and back, but Typhlosion's unfortunately only got a little bit of a tail sticking out. So from the front, you can't tell it's shiny at all. Really, what they should have done is they should have changed the fire, even just a little bit, like make it more red or more yellow, as opposed to orange. I think that would have worked just as well, but as it stands, I think Typhlosion did it much worse than these two. Still good colouring, but it didn't go so well. Totodile, I like this, this blue-green, the turquoisey teal colour. Big fan of it. And changing the red spikes to blue spikes, I don't know why, but specifically on these two, it works really, really well. And on Feraligatr, it works super well. Shiny Feraligatr is one of my favourite shinies ever. I don't know why. I think, again, this is a very good blue they chose, and when you compare it to the red, it's such a nice contrast. And the skin turquoise they chose, brilliant decision. I know that it's already blue, so, it's not that much of a change, but it's nice. It's a really nice change. Sometimes you don't have to change something drastically to make it good. You just need to change it enough. It has to be noticeable. This is such a different blue than regular that you know it's shiny, and the blue spikes just really send that home. So big fan of this shiny. Well done. Centret. I kind of like it. It's all right. I don't hate it. It's the yellow here is a bit close to the brown. Like if you showed me this and it wasn't like, oh, this is the shiny, it would take me a second to realize if it was shiny or not. But I like the pinkish red, or like the maroony color on the tails. It's good stuff. I just think it could have done with something else. You know, it was all right, but it could have done with something else. Furret. Here you go. Classic. Everyone knows shiny Furret. Everyone likes shiny Furret. I mean, everyone just likes Furret anyway. But the pink was a good choice. The pink and white. Not really a color combo you think about often, but pink and white is pretty damn cool. So Furret, it gets A tier from me. And you know what? From where I'm sitting, this is a very positive tier list compared to normal. And it will continue. Hoot Hoot. I know that I said that the yellow from brown is kind of unnoticeable, but here's the thing. Hoot Hoot, it is an unnatural yellow. This is what I like about shinies. I like shinies that show a completely not natural color on a Pokemon, right? So, like another example would be Espeon. No one would have thought Espeon would be green for its shiny. It's pink regularly. People would have been like, oh, maybe it would turn blue or like red or something. No one expected fucking neon green. And this is why I like Hoot Hoot. Unfortunately, yellow is not the color I would have gone with because it is still a bit too close to brown, but it's noticeable enough that I'll let it get away with it. Noctowl, while I don't like this shade of yellow, looks a bit sickly, we gotta pay respects to anime shiny Noctowl. Probably, I think it was the first shiny ever introduced in Pokemon the anime. I'm not sure, actually. Someone will have to quote me on that, but I like it regardless. It's still alright. Unfortunately, Ledaba and Ledian suck. I won't explain myself because it's pretty obvious, but they needed something else. I think what they should have done was turn them deep, dark red. That would have been nice. Ledian was already quite red anyway. Maybe just make him a different colour. Spinarak. It's alright. The colours, these colours together, I think I would have liked it more if they were saturated a bit more and less pastel. But it's alright, you know. Anyway, Gen 2 Spinarak colour scheme supremacy, so it gets B tier for that. Ariados, the red to pink / purple. I like it. Just a solid colour change. The legs make it quite noticeable. It's just like, it's a shiny, you look at it and you're like, yep, that's the shiny. It's nice colours. It gets A tier for that. And here we have a decision that makes or breaks a thing. I'm going to leave it in the centre for now. This isn't my decision. I'm just leaving it here for suspense. But let's go over it. Crobat, unfortunately, does a thing I don't like, which is he breaks the trend for his line shiny, which is why Meganium's down here. He breaks the trend for his line shiny. Zubat, Golbat, they both went green with pink wings. Now, Crobat is a colour inversion of Zubat and Golbat, and his shiny is technically the same. So did he keep in trend with it? I don't know, that's up to you. But I don't particularly like that pink or that green. So I think for the sake of the fact that he's still got green and pink on him, I will let him keep the C tier. But he's treading on thin fucking ice because they are two disgusting colours. Whereas I really like Zubat and Golbat's green and pink. They worked well, especially in that specific formation of green skin, pink wings. Pink skin was not the thing they should have done, but whatever. Chinchou. I fucking love this shiny. I know it's a very small change, but like I said, it doesn't have to be a big change. It doesn't have to be super noticeable. It has to just be... Well, it doesn't have to be super big change, it just has to be noticeable. And this is noticeable. And that I think they went with the perfect colour. The perfect colour swap. So it had yellow eyes and yellow feelers, or the yellow light things. They were yellow, and then they turned to this deep sea green. And I think that really works, because it's a deep sea creature. It looks like it comes from miles and miles below the surface. I like it. I think they did a good job with this. This is a good one. Lantern. Unfortunately, Lantern doesn't get to keep this fun color scheme because his colors were different, and that's how shinies work back then. This purple, I like purple. Purple is my favorite color, but that's not what I would have done here. And his idea of green/yellow doesn't look too great on the eyes there. Now, previous games, much better purple, much better green. It would have been an A tier, but as the shiny currently stands, it's unfortunately got to be a B tier. Compared to Chinchou, this is a massive downgrade, and I know I'm going to get shit for that because some people really like Lantern Shiny and want justice for it, but my opinion, B tier. Pichu sucks. Cleffa. I like Cleffa a lot. Okay, hear me out. I already like Clefairy and Clefable. This is known fact. If you look at my Gen 1 shiny ranking, you'll notice that, well, Clefairy and Clefable were quite high up. And my only reason I didn't put them, like, really, really high up is because I said that the green tips of the ears, I think it would just be nicer if the whole ear was green. Now, technically, Cleffa's whole ear is green because the brown part that looks like two chocolate chips got stuck on its head is the whole ear now. Unfortunately, Cleffa as a Pokemon, I'm just not a big fan of. That's the only thing stopping it from being S tier, which I would also get roasted for. Igglybuff, I literally don't know the difference. Togepi. People hate Togepi shiny because they're like, all that changes is the red and the blue swap. But this skin difference is decently noticeable. It's not like insane, like, fucking Crobat. It's not Crobat noticeable, but it's still noticeable. I don't get all the hate it gets. And the red and blue swapping is a fun thing, and people love to point it out like a fun fact. So, you gotta respect that. Togetic, however, does not even get a skin change and looks terrible. Xatu and Natu. I did that the wrong way around. Natu and Xatu. Again, it's just they upped the contrast a lot. It just looks quite shit. Mareep. I don't know what it is. I think it might just be Mareep's wool's design, the way it's textured. I love the way it looks, and the pink really works on it. Like, they could have done the easy thing that they did with Dubwool and Wooloo, and make it a black sheep. That would have been clever, and back then it would have been really cool. But unfortunately, black shinies weren't a massive thing back then. AKA, they didn't exist, because I don't think they could do black shinies back then. But yeah, Mareep, this is just a nice pink, and it's a nice design. It's not too busy, it's very simple. Mareep gets S tier because I just like it. Flaffy, unfortunately, sucks ass. Ampharos. Now, Ampharos, it's been growing on me for the last few years, but I think they really could have done something else, because combined with its chicken wing arms here, Ampharos looks like it had all its feathers taken off, and it just looks like a naked bird now. I get that it was pink to keep in trend with the line, but Flaffy was already pink, so that's why it's down here, and Ampharos doesn't look great with pink. But the blue is nice, so I guess I'll give it B tier. Mega Ampharos, B tier, but solid B tier, because unlike with regular Ampharos, the hair does add here, and I do like the blue orbs, so B tier for that one. Blossom. I think Blossom will go B tier as well, because if you look at Blossom, it's a small change, technically. On a small Pokemon, it's a change. But, if this was on a big Pokemon, it wouldn't be that noticeable, no one would really care. In Scarlet and Violet, if you're looking for a shiny Blossom, you're in for a fucking hell of a time, because it's impossible. But in regular games, like the 3D models, the sprites, it's big. You can see it noticeably, and it's a nice change. The blue skin turning pink, I think pink was an okay colour, but only because it's a flower. And the flower's turning pink. It just looks cute. It's a nice change. It's whatever. Marrow. I love me some minty green. Give me that boy. And Azumarill. I actually have an Azumarill. His name is Homer, and he helps me hunt shinies. Ooh, Sudowoodo. B. I think B. Because the red, that's an A tier decision. The green actually doesn't work terribly bad. I think there were better colours they could have gone for, but the green isn't a terrible choice here, even though this specific green I'm not a huge fan of. But it's alright. It's alright. I keep that in B tier. I like it. The red is A, the green is C. Evens out. B tier. Also, I own one, so I'm a bit biased. Politoed. Now, again, blue and pink. Not a color that I was expecting to go together, and it doesn't. It contrasts so heavily that it looks like two different Pokemon got glued together. But I think that just works with Politoed. The green turning blue is very, very good. He looks like his Poly brothers, and I'm a big fan of this. And the pink, it's just a fun change. Sometimes there's no logic as to why a shiny's good. It's just that it's a nice color change, and it's very obvious, and people like that. Here's the thing. Some people like shinies because the color changes are dramatic and overhauled. That's why people like Crobat, because they're like, this is so obviously a shiny. That's why I like it. But some people just like the colors that they choose. That's why some people, like me, like Cleffa. You know, it's quite a big change, yes, but I mean, it's not massive. Same with Cyndaquil. I like this because it's just a nice color change. I don't like it because it, you know, it doesn't have to always be the majority of the body changed, but sometimes people just like that, and sometimes people don't. And that's what I like about Politoed. I like the color change on this one. Hoppip, S tier. That green is so fucking good. Skiploom, D tier. I hate that. I don't know why I hate this one so much. I think it's because they went from the class that is Hoppip to Skiploom, and then to Jumpluff. And Jumpluff, that's just a nice pink. Sometimes making something all pink works, and it did. The pink cotton, the pink body, it just looks cute. The Hoppip is cool. The Skiploom really let the team down, unfortunately. Apom, C. Only because it keeps ruining my Legends Arceus shiny runs. So, in Legends Arceus, I don't know if this is how you're meant to do it, but I save, then I spend the Aguave berries, and then I go around the Massive Mass Outbreak, picking out what I want. And when you're meant to save before you catch a shiny, because then if you fail, you can come back and do it. So whenever I hear a noise, I hear the noise of the shiny, I instantly save. I don't even know what the shiny is, I save instantly. And 2 times it's been Apom, and it's not worth it. I'll catch it anyway, but it wasn't worth the save and using my resources for no reason. So just because of that, it gets C tier. But I think it's an alright color change, I suppose. Sunkern and Sunflora suck. Yanma, oof. This is probably, again, one of my favorite shinies. I think the color, the red to blue, that's all they had to do, and they smashed it. They picked an amazing blue, they lightened the green on his face a bit. I love it, and it's an S tier for me. Wooper, I mean, just like Jumpluff, that's just a nice pink. I can't hate it. It's alright. Quagsire. It would be higher, but it did do the I'm water type and I'm blue, and my shiny is pink. That's just how water types seem to go. I'm looking at you, all the water types ever. Swampert. I love Swampert, but it needs a better shiny. Espeon. It's grown on me. When I first saw it, I was like, this is an abomination to the eyes. And now when I look at it, I think, you know what? It's still an abomination to the eyes, but I like it. Sometimes it is just a matter of changing the color entirely. And green, you know what? Fuck it. I wasn't expecting green will be what they picked, but they picked it, and they followed through. And it's just a nice green, and it weirdly works. In a weird way it works. But A tier, because I like it. Umbreon. S tier. I mean, you'd be stupid not to. I know that some people make the argument of, whoa, it just changes the yellow to fucking blue, and I'm like, have you noticed that all of these are just changing one color to another? That's how shinies work. It's the decision they make that matters. If they change these to green, it would be like B tier, it wouldn't matter. It's just what colors they pick in what order, and whether they swap it at all. Like Cyndaquil, his body's exactly the same. The only thing they changed is they made this brown. And look at him, he's A tier. Meanwhile, look at Crobat. They fucking overhauled everything about him, and I don't like it. It's not about changing everything. It's about how you do it. It's not the size. It's how you use it. And he really uses it. It's just a nice blue. Blue is a nighttime color, and it's a good sky color. The moon. There's a blue moon, and then there's the regular moon. It's just a good choice. And it works really well, and it's on a really cool Pokemon to begin with, so it gets S tier. Murkrow. It would be B tier, but it was the first shiny I found in Pokemon Go, and I lost my fucking mind, so A tier. That's just bias. Slowking. I don't like that blue-white... I'll be honest, I just don't like Slowking's design. This frilly collar, stupid. He looks like an umbrella. And this is just a weird pink-purple. Not a big fan. Mischievous. These two colours are quite terrible. They're quite disgusting colours. But together, they somehow pull it off. I have no idea why or how. I can't explain it. I'm not a fucking wizard. But yeah, it just works really well, I think. It's been 20 minutes, and I think I'm roughly halfway through. If not, oh well. I'm going to stop this here. You know, you can all take it in. This is how it currently sits. Quite a positive thing. We've got a few more S tiers than normal. A lot of A's. Quite a few B's. Very few C's. And then D is mostly just filled with ones that either I hate, specifically Skiploom, or ones that just don't change. Whatever. But I hope you've enjoyed this beginning to Gen 2. This has definitely taken longer than it was last time I recorded this. And you know what? There have been some changes. Crobat was in the bottom tier and Mischievous was here. And also, I think Quagsire might have been lower as well. Lantern was also lower. Yeah, there's been quite a few changes. And that just shows. Opinions change every day. It doesn't matter what your opinion is at the minute, because it will change. It will not remain the same. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. If I end this recording and it turns out that nothing was recording, I'm literally going to put my entire fist through my own face. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.